Hi, beautiful. Let's do some tapping around those persistent fears, blocks, and limiting beliefs that might have been popping up for you around stepping into that next level of your leadership. So let's start by simply closing our eyes and taking a couple of deep breaths. Beautiful. Now tune into your body, tune into your womb space, and ask for any and all of those fears, resistance, or blocks to you stepping fully into your leadership role to emerge now. See where you feel these blocks and this resistance. Where do they live inside your body? And how strong is this resistance between the scores 1 to 10, where 10 is the most intense kind of resistance? Great. Mark that score down or just simply keep it in your mind. How does this resistance make you feel? Angry, sad, powerless, hopeless, numb, or something completely different? Mark that down as well. And what shape does this resistance have inside your body? What about its color? Okay, great. Now take another deep, deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we start tapping on the side of the hand and repeat after me, preferably out loud, or in your mind if talking out loud isn't an option for you right now. And if anything that I say doesn't feel resonant, doesn't feel aligned, either don't say anything and simply tap, or use a word that feels more aligned to you. All right, here we go. Even though I'm holding on to these blocks and this resistance around stepping into the next level of my leadership, I am open to deeply and completely loving and accepting myself. Even though some of this resistance feels so very strong, I give myself permission to change my reality now. Even though I'm aware of this resistance within me, I choose to relax now and give myself a chance to clear it. Tapping on the eyebrow point. All these blocks to being the leader I know I'm meant to be. Side of the eye, inside my body, in my cellular memory, and my DNA. Under the eye. All this resistance to stepping into my next level leadership. Under the nose. All these fears related to being a leader in these times of change. Chin point. All these unspoken worries and doubts. Collarbone point. Around being a new earth leader. Under the arm. And what this may mean for me. top of the head. All this resistance. Okay, pause the tapping. Take another deep, deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Tune into your body for a moment. Notice any intensifying happening with that resistance or that fear, or perhaps some shifting in how it feels, where you might be feeling it inside your body. Good. Let's go back to the eyebrow point. I know where some of this resistance is coming from. Side of the eye. I can remember events, incidences, and experiences under the eye where my leadership was questioned, criticized, or suppressed. Under the nose. I am aware of words others may have said to me. Chin point, that have led me to question my role as a leader. Collarbone point. I know that there have been times when I have not trusted myself as a leader. Under the arm, when I may have made mistakes as a leader. Top of the head. And perhaps caused some damage being a leader. Whether that was in this lifetime or other lifetimes. Let's go straight back to the eyebrow point. Maybe I'm holding on to the belief that leadership leads to criticism. Side of the eye. Maybe I'm holding on to the belief that leadership leads to questioning. Under the eye. Maybe I'm holding on to the belief that leadership leads to ridicule and others challenging me. Under the nose. Maybe I'm holding on to the belief that leadership leads to punishment and is dangerous. Chin point. Maybe something's happened that's made me doubt myself as a leader. Collarbone point. Maybe someone's influenced me to believe that I am not worthy or deserving of being a leader. Under the arm. Maybe I've made some bad decisions as a leader in the past. Top of the head. Maybe it doesn't feel safe to be a leader, especially in these times of change and transition. Good. Let's pause the tapping again. Take another deep breath. And again, tune into your body. Notice what is happening inside you. What may have happened to the intensity score that you gave to the resistance in the beginning. And take another deep breath. And we return to the eyebrow point. Maybe I've had to be responsible when I didn't want that responsibility. Side of the eye. Maybe it's been really hard work to be a leader. Under the eye. Maybe I've been challenged as a leader. Under the nose. Maybe others have questioned my judgment. Chin point. Maybe I've been laughed at when I've been in a leadership position. Collarbone point. Maybe I've had fingers pointed at me when I've acted as a leader. Under the arm. Maybe I'm not cut out to be a leader. Top of the head. Maybe this yearning that I'm feeling to step into a bigger place of power is just some silly fantasy. Eyebrow point. Who would trust me? Side of the eye. Who would follow me? Under the eye. Who am I to be a leader? Under the nose. Many famous leaders that I know of, chin point, have had a really shitty ending. Collarbone point. Why would I want to risk that? Under the arm. Am I really cut out to be a leader? Top of the head. Do I really even want to be a leader? Eyebrow point. Maybe I've hurt someone with my decisions. Side of the eye. Maybe the responsibility has felt like a burden. Under the eye. Maybe I've been seriously hurt being a leader. Under the nose. Maybe the visibility has been too much. Chin point. Maybe I've been challenged in a big way. Maybe I've failed as a leader. Collarbone point. Maybe others haven't liked me or the choices that I've made when I've been a leader. Under the arm. Maybe I'm just not meant to be a leader. Maybe I just simply don't have what it takes to be a leader. Top of the head. Or maybe these are all just beliefs that are not based on reality and that can be changed. Now come to the thymus point, tapping gently over the thymus gland in the middle of the chest, and repeat after me, focusing on that part of you that is feeling the resistance to being a new earth leader. And you're going to speak to this part of you and you're going to say to it, I am so sorry you've had to experience that. I am so sorry you've had to witness that. I'm so sorry you've had to hear all that. I'm so sorry you've had to feel all that. I'm sorry you haven't always been heard. I'm sorry you haven't always been listened to. I'm sorry you haven't always been seen. I'm sorry you haven't always been understood. I'm sorry you haven't always been appreciated. I'm sorry you haven't always been cherished. I'm sorry you haven't always been followed. I'm sorry you haven't always been trusted. I'm sorry you haven't always been allowed to shine your light. I'm sorry you've been knocked down so many times. I'm sorry it hasn't always been safe. I'm sorry it's been so hard and so complex. I'm sorry there's been so many uphill battles. I'm sorry it's been so gruesome at times. I'm sorry they've been so harsh. I'm sorry they've been so hurtful. I'm sorry they've been so hard on you. I'm sorry it hasn't been easy. I'm sorry you haven't always been able to trust yourself and the choices that you've made. I'm sorry that there have been mistakes. And I'm sorry you haven't always handled those the best way. I'm sorry it's been such a roller coaster ride. I'm sorry it feels so scary. I'm sorry there's been so many hindrances. I'm sorry there's been so many obstacles. I'm sorry you've sometimes doubted yourself. I'm sorry you've sometimes been so unforgiving towards yourself. I'm sorry there's been so much judgment, criticism, laughter, ridicule. I'm sorry there's been so much indecisiveness. I'm sorry it's been so hard. Okay, pause for a moment, place your hand over your heart, and just take a really, really deep breath. Allow that to settle for just a moment and notice what's happening inside your body. Okay, good. Let's continue. So coming back to the eyebrow point. Whatever unhelpful and limiting beliefs and patterns I'm holding on to about me being a leader, side of the eye, I choose to clear them now. Under the eye, if my subconscious is ruling my life based on an unhelpful mindset related to being a leader, under the nose, I choose to let this go now. Chin point, I choose to clear and unlearn all limiting beliefs and fears related to me being a new earth leader. Collarbone point, I no longer wish to carry these unhelpful perceptions within me. Under the arm, and I release my subconscious mind from holding onto these beliefs and perceptions. Top of the head, I choose to live in the present and know that I've always done the best I could do under the circumstances. Eyebrow point, I now choose, side of the eye, to consciously, under the eye, transcend, transmute, and transform. Under the nose, all of the fear and resistance, chin point, that I have been holding on to, collarbone point, all these years. Under the arm, no matter where they come from, top of the head, and no matter who they come from. Eyebrow point, I transcend, transmute, and transform side of the eye, all blocks, resistance, fears, doubts, and worries that I am holding on to, under the eye, inside my body, right now, under the nose. I transcend, transmute, and transform, chin point, all beliefs, patterns, stories, and paradigms that I'm holding on to, collarbone point, around being a leader that do not serve my highest good. Under the arm, I transcend, transmute, and transform. Top of the head, all vows, contracts, and agreements made in past lives that stop me from being a new earth leader. Good. Pause the tapping. Take another deep, deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, and then tune into your body again. What is the intensity of the resistance that you feel now? What about the shape that you initially felt? How is that now? Or the color of it, has that changed? And how do you feel inside your body right now? Okay, great. Let's do a little bit more. So coming back to the eyebrow point, I now remember and restore. Side of the eye, the truth of my power and presence. Under the eye, to my subconscious mind. Under the nose, and know that I truly am a powerful being. Chin point, more than capable of being a leader. Collarbone point, in exactly the right way. Under the arm, for these times of change and transition. Top of the head, and I restore this memory to my subconscious mind. Eyebrow point, I choose to know that I am infinitely powerful. Side of the eye, I choose to remember that I have been a wise leader many, many times before. Under the eye, I choose to know that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. Under the nose, I embody and embrace my leadership role and responsibilities. Chin point, I choose to believe that it is safe for me to be a leader now. Collarbone point, I choose to be in a state of power and presence, connected to my truth, connected to love. Under the arm, I choose to know I am a magical co-creator of the new earth. Top of the head, I choose to know that me being a leader makes a huge positive difference on our planet and beyond. Now come back to the thymus point for a moment again and simply breathe. Deep, deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you're breathing in, breathe in a sense of freedom and lightness. Breathe out any heaviness of past memories or old limitations or emotions that you're feeling around being a leader. Taking another big deep breath of pure potentiality. and courage. Breathe that in. And breathe out all sense of limitation. Breathe in freedom and connection with Source. And breathe out all doubts, all skepticism, all fear around being a new Earth leader. And now let's go back to the eyebrow point once more. I know I am a divine spark. Side of the eye. I know I am infinitely powerful. Under the eye. I know I'm here for a purpose. Under the nose. I know I am a leader. Chin point. I cherish being a leader. Collarbone point. I welcome all that comes with this leadership as growth opportunities, as beautiful lessons, as my personal growth and evolution. Under the arm, I am a leader. Top of the head, I am needed, held, and loved. And so be it. Beautiful. Pause the tapping. Take another deep, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, just simply tune into your body. Breathe in silence. And notice what has shifted and changed. What new might have come through. What has left. What has come in. If you're still feeling those fears and that resistance strongly, then do this tapping as many times as you need to. But more than likely, you are feeling a shift already. You're feeling lighter, more expanded. Ride that wave and go and be the leader that you are meant to be. Much love.